Hey traders, before I jump into doing some live trading, I just want to let you know that I've received all your guys' emails and I'm not ignoring you. It's just been a little overwhelming with the number of emails that I've gotten. I was up to 3 a.m. this morning trying to reply to some of them, so I'll definitely get to it. Just may take me some time to do so. But wanted to go in and just do some live trading so you can see real time me closing out and getting into some trades. The first one here in the middle is Etsy. This was the earnings trade put on yesterday. You can see that Etsy is pretty much flat since the earnings announcement. It was up and down during after hours trading, but this just goes to show why buying calls and puts is a losing game, because if you would have bought a call or a put trying to play their earnings, you would have been a loser because it did not move very much. So that's why I love selling strategies, because it gives you a lot of room to be wrong. But right now this option is trading at 5 cents. I initially got a credit of $1.06, so it makes no sense for me to keep holding this for one more day just to make that last. You can see there $25 is what I'll have to give back to get out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and close it. I'll go down to close position. And if I want to get out immediately, I can do 10 cents because that's what the current ask is, but I'm going to try to do it for 5 cents. Let's just see if it'll give me a feel. Hit send. So it doesn't look like that's going to fill. I'm going to leave that sitting there for a little bit. I'll come back to it if it doesn't fill. Let's go back. Oh, it just filled. If I go back to orders, filled, you can see, so I got out for 5 cents. So that was a great trade. Let's go top down. Let's look at American Airlines. So it's at 14 cents now. My initial credit was 63 cents. I mean, really it doesn't make sense for me to probably hold this any longer. I mean, it's 50 cents above the strike price. I may give it a little more time and then I'll probably close this out later. I'd like to try to close it out for less than 10 cents, but again, it's not worth the risk of trying to squeeze out those last few cents, because again, you never know what can happen overnight or tomorrow. There could be news that comes out tomorrow that causes American Airlines to drop significantly, and then I'll be kicking myself for not closing this out today. So I will probably do that a little later. Looking at Chewy or AMC. AMC, I've already rolled it, so I'm not going to even pay attention to this one for a couple weeks. I rolled it till May 22nd. I showed this in the previous video. Chewy, here's another one that is going really well. 53-cent credit. I can buy it back now probably for 12 or 13 cents. So I may do that later today as well. MU, I'll probably keep this until tomorrow because it's right at my strike price, and I don't want to have to pay 46 cents to buy it back. Even though it does show the trade price is $2.14, that's a little misleading because I've already rolled this from a previous week. So when you do a roll, the trade price isn't really accurate because it's showing you the trade price as if you were to have sold that option for the first time this week. And being is that this is from a roll, I just have to ignore this information on the screen. You can't really go by this if it's from a roll. So anyway, I'll give it until tomorrow and hopefully be able to get out of it then. Starbucks, similar situation. It's up, a good bit above my strike. I'll probably wait until tomorrow to close this one out as well. Twitter. Okay, so Twitter looks good. I think I'll go ahead and close this out. Again, no need to hold this just to make 8 cents, $85 until tomorrow when I've already gotten paid 56 cents. So let's go close. And I'll try to get the 8 cents. When you're placing your trades, it's going to typically default. Like when I first did this, it defaulted it to the ask. So that's, again, kind of if I want to get out immediately, I know I can get out for 9 cents, but it's always nice to try to work your orders a little bit. You know, if there's a wide bid-ask spread, you want to adjust the price to try to get a better fill. So I'm going to try to get the bid price, and if it doesn't, I may come back in and adjust it to take the ask. It's always good to try to haggle with the market. So it took, okay, so it took it at 8 cents now. So matter Twitter. Okay, so I'll leave the other ones until, like I said, maybe later today I'll get out, or wait till tomorrow for a couple of them. I'd mentioned yesterday too about possibly doing an earnings trade on Roku or Uber. When I looked at Roku earlier, the margin requirement for Roku was just way too high for what I'd want to put up. I'll look here real quick and show you. So I was looking at around the 117 strike price. The expected move, if you see to the right up there, it says plus or minus 15. So that would put the stock right around 120 if it goes the expected move, right? So I want to be below that, below 120. So I was looking around the 117 strike. Has a nice probability of out of the money, 86%. But when I go into it, and let's look at one contract. So you get payouts $104, but it requires 3,400 of buying power. And from a percentage standpoint, that's just more buying power than I'd want to put up to make $100. Ideally, for $100 credit, I may at most want to put up, you know, 1,000, 1,500 maybe at the most. So that's just too high for me, because I would typically probably do 5 contracts. So if we look at 5 contracts, yeah, 17,000 to make 500. I just know there's better options out there that I could make 500 off of, say, 8,000 margin. So I would never want to put this trade on. If I was going to do this, I would do it as a spread, but I'm just going to stay away from it. So I think the one I'm going to go with is Uber. And let's look at some of the strike prices here. So Uber is up already 10% today. So that's the only thing that kind of makes me a little hesitant to get in, because it's already up 10% because of Lyft having good earnings yesterday. But I'm going to go ahead and place the trade. I'm going to look at the 27 strike. So if we look at the probability of out of the money, that's right at 80%. The expected move is 340. So that would put me outside the expected move. So let's go ahead and put this on. I'll do 10 contracts. So see, here's a great example where I'm getting paid $400 and it's only requiring me to put up 2,700 for this trade versus the 17,000 for Roku. So this is a much better trade to put on for me. Now, the risk is if Uber does drop, that buying power will go up. So this buying power of 2,700 is just to get into the trade, but buying power is not a fixed number. So tomorrow if Uber drops, the buying power could go to 5,000. It may even go to 10,000 depending on how far it drops. So those are things to factor in too, is that if you have a $5,000 account, you don't want to go put 10 contracts on for this trade thinking that, oh, it only takes up half of my buying power, because you could easily wake up tomorrow and be in a margin call because they adjusted your buying power requirement for this trade to $5,000. I've had it happen to me before on a trade where my buying power like tripled overnight, and I was having to panic and close out some of the contracts to get my buying power back down, and it was just because the stock had dropped a good bit overnight. So just keep that into consideration when you're doing picking your contract size. Anyway, let's go ahead and submit this. Send. And I got filled at 42 cents. So this is, a one-day trade, again, because of their earnings tonight. And I'll hopefully be able to take this off tomorrow for a profit. That's all I have. Thanks.